Hello, my name is Deacon Robert Moreno Jr. I'm a transitional deacon for the Diocese of Brownsville, currently studying at St. Mary's here in Houston. And I wanted to take this time just to kind of share with you who I am, where I come from, and just kind of my vocation journey so far over the 6 years that I've been at St. Mary's.
Thank you, Deacon Robert. Appreciate you taking some time out for Co-Cathedral. I know you gave us a little bit about your name, where you're at, and where you're at in formation. Tell us a little bit more about you, where you're from, what diocese you came from, and where you're headed to after this, if you know. And then I kind of want to dive into a little bit of your family life after that. So give us a little bit more of your background here in terms of formation and the journey so far through the formation process.
Yeah, so basically I entered formation for the study for the priesthood in 2014. Before that, I was actually received a degree in biology because the idea was to go to medical school. That was what I had planned. But towards the end of my year in undergrad school, I started having this call, this desire to know more about the Catholic priesthood. And it was something that I kind of didn't pay too much attention to while I was in my last year. So I kind of ignored the thought, focused on my studies, still said, I'm going to become a doctor and do all that, have a family of my own. But after graduating, the thought was still there and kind of sticking to me, kind of like basically telling me, you need to go and ask more questions about this. So eventually I got the courage to basically reach out to a priest in my diocese down in Brownsville, Texas, and started talking with him just about what the priesthood was, how he found joy in it, and if it was something, if it was great, if he loved it. And this priest basically always had this joy in him. So that's what kind of drew my attention to speak to this priest. And so I met with him a few times, but still focused on saying, I'm going to go to med school. Eventually, towards that end of the year, I was working in a hospital, and I said, you know what, I think I want to know more about it. I think I want to move to the next step and enter the seminary, apply for this. And so eventually I did. I started speaking to the vocation office, putting in all the requirements I needed, and eventually I got the call that I was accepted to the Diocese of Brownsville as a seminarian, and they sent me to Houston to study for the priesthood. And so I've been here since 2014. I did 2 years of philosophy, and currently in my 4th year of theology. And part of the program in 4th theology is that every deacon is sent out to a parish. Now, if Brownsville was closer, of course, I would be sent to Brownsville, but in my case, I've been assigned to a parish in Houston, and therefore I've been assigned to the Co-Cathedral of the Sacred Heart as my diaconate assignment, where I would be serving roughly 3 weekends a month, preaching and attending other groups, and just working alongside Father Lawrence, Father Locke, and the entire community.
And we're very thankful to have you, and that's a really interesting. You did make a note about being from Brownsville, and I kind of want to dive into that a little bit. Tell us a little bit more, kind of about your family size, the dynamic, and kind of curious also when you wrap that up if there's any other members of your family in a religious order.
Well, I come from a fairly large family. I'm the oldest of 6 siblings, and so when I first left to the seminary, there was a little pain because the oldest son was now leaving the house, not to pursue a career in the medical field as he basically said he was throughout his high school years and college years, but now to something totally different. But I did receive much support as along the way, and now even now as the time gets closer towards the priesthood, I see a greater support from the family. So yes, I have 5 younger siblings, and so it's just a great joy to be with them. And no, to answer your question, there is no one else that has a religious background as a priest or clergy member. I'm the first.
That's very, very interesting to hear. Sometimes with families of large sizes, we've found that it's always really kind of a extreme. It's either there's been a lot of people in the family as a whole that have been religious orders, or almost like a first step in that direction for somebody going into the priesthood. And so we kind of talked a little bit about your moment of truth, or what I like to call that moment of calling, when you had that, was there a specific incident that maybe you recall from the hospital or from your experience by working and said, you know what, this is it. I definitely need to make that change, because I got to say this, Deacon Robert, anybody listening would say, wow, what happened at work? Like, what was it? Was it something, a person, a patient coming in? Was it doing a specific job and it hit you? Do you recall the moment?
To be honest, I think the idea of the priesthood was there since college, my senior year.
Wow.
And so basically, going into the hospital setting after graduating, I still had the thought, maybe the priesthood is something for me, something that I should, know more about and learn about it, And so it just stayed with me throughout my year working in the hospital. And having those conversations with the priest, attending Mass, and just seeing the joy of different priests that I encountered, kind of kept on saying, you know what, you need to ask more questions. You need to learn about the priesthood. And so I did. I talked to several priests, and none of the priests ever pushed me to join seminary. They always encouraged me to keep on praying, to spend time with our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament, and to be at peace with the decision that I wanted to do. And so after so much conversation with priests, after kind of in prayer, I finally made the decision, I want to move to the next step. I want to continue my discernment, but now at the seminary. Obviously, if it's something that they'll allow me to, because I still had to go through the application process. And I'm grateful to my bishop and to my vocation directors who basically have given me this opportunity and have journeyed with me throughout the way in this formation.
Well, that's actually beautiful to hear, and we appreciate sitting down with us today and giving us your time and allowing us to come and interrupt your day of study here at the seminary, Deacon Robert. We appreciate that. And if there's any other closing message you want to give the parishioners at Co-Cathedral?
I'm really enjoying this year, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you all more and working with you all and learning from you all. And so I'm really looking forward to this year.
All right. Thank you again, Deacon Robert, and appreciate it. And we'll get this up on the Co-Cathedral Facebook page as quickly as possible. Thank you again, Deacon.
Thank you.